These are chocolate moulds, not resin moulds. So today I want to find out if they actually work with epoxy resin. Now the details on these look really nice, but because these weren't made for resin, I don't know if the finish is going to come out lovely, dull, or completely disappointing. I'm going to try a few different finishes on them because I think that will be a great experiment. I'm going to be using an opaque pigment, and that's yellow by Let's Resin. And that one's going to be a fairly plain one. I'm also going to use some chameleon powder, a nice mint green, a chrome powder, a gold, some metallic powder, silver on one, some gold leaf, and one with just black, because I want to see if we can do something with it afterwards to antique it up a little bit. So I'm really curious about them all. This one I'm very curious about, because if the resin picks this up really well, then this could look like quite an antique-y style frame. Now they've picked up that powder exceptionally well. So the black mica powder I'm going to do in this one, because this has got quite a lot of indents in it, and there is a technique that we can use afterwards that will fill in those indents and give it a really nice finish. Now this one I'm going to be using the leaf on, and this could either give us a really nice finish or a little bit overkill. I'm going to brush this on really well like this, and I'm going to show you a technique I used in a previous video, and I'll link that at the end of this one as well. It's a great video on how to get the most out of leaf and gold and silver leaf in your resin. Make sure that's all cracked up a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is go over that with some black mica powder. Let's just have a little clean up so I don't contaminate all the rest. Actually, I'm not going to use the chameleon powder. I'm going to use the lime green chameleon flakes, because this one should give a softer feel to it. And I think this might be better if you wanted to add a photograph to it. And hopefully it will pick up all the little details and shine through. Again, burnishing that down. So that one's done. I think that looks beautiful already, look. This one I'm going to be using the chrome powder for. And then the last one I'm going to be using just the opaque pigment. Now, because these are chocolate moulds, they're not actually made very level. I'm going to pour these directly in my G3 curing machine. So I want to make sure that any of them that aren't made really level, like this one, I'm just popping a stick underneath it to help level it up. And I'm doing it on the narrow setting as well, the high setting, because I can get them cured up really quickly, and then we can look at how well these have come out. So I've got my resin mixed up now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in this black opaque pigment, and this is by T Expert. Love these pigments, because I want it not to have that transparent look to it. And if you watch my video on how to use pigments correctly in resin, you'll see why it's important. I'm going to give that a really good mix in. Now I bet you're thinking, oh no, he said he was going to do one yellow, and you can't turn black resin yellow. Well, I didn't forget, and I took some resin on the one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a few drops of this in here. So the tricky bit with these, as they're quite intricate, is definitely going and not over pouring, which I am 100% sure I'm going to do. And the other thing is getting it into everywhere where you need it without creating lots of bubbles, especially on this one, because they are so detailed. So what I've done is I've taken the end off a micro brush here, and I'm just going to work this in to all these little details here. Kind of give it a squidgy widgy, but with this micro brush. And this plain one's important, because if that looks terrible, then we're going to know that we need to do something with these moulds to actually make them look a lot better. Now I'm going to use a pipette to fill these up with. My hand is nowhere near steady enough today. So I've got all those filled up now, and hopefully as many bubbles removed from them as I possibly can get. I'm just going round them now with my long neck lighter. This one I don't think is going to look very good. I think it is too intricate. I'll pop my top on my G3. Well, these have all cured up nicely now. So let's have a look at the little plain one first. The one where we didn't put anything on it. That has come out so pretty. And it has picked up all the detail of the little mould. That's what difference does by putting it in with a pipette. And also by dipping it in and doing internal squidgy widgy. So this is the one where I put the gold leaf down first. I wanted to see if it'd give it an antique-y finish or not. It has come out quite nice. And this is the metallic powder one. And this should give a little bit of that black coming through in places and give it a more of an antique-y feel, and it has. I love that. Has come out so well. This is Chameleon Flakes. Oh, that is my absolute favourite. Look at the colour shift in that. That has come out so pretty. All those details. This is the chrome powder in the gold. That is a beautiful looking little frame that you could do a lot with. And the last one is the black mica powder. And again, all those little details have come out on that. But I did say I was going to show you how I'm going to just change this up a little bit. And all I'm going to be using for this is some gold acrylic paint, a little brush like that. Knock off all the excess, go over it. And it will transform that. I think that's come out really pretty now. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these, and then it will all make a lot more sense of why you'd want some little frames. I've printed off here on some normal copy paper some images, and I've also sprayed them to seal them with a sealer. And now all I need to do is cut these out. Well, now I've got all my pictures cut out and the charms that I want to put inside each of these. These charms are really, really cheap. I buy these and use them all the time. So the ones that have got a closed back to them, they are going to be simple to set up. I've cut the image out, and all I'm going to do on these is use a little bit of gilding glue all the way around. Now these open back ones, all I'm doing is treating them in the same way as I would treat any open back bezel. I'm using some tape here. This is the really wide one from J Diction. Again, I'll link it in the description below. Quickly turn those over. Make sure that's sealed on there all the way around, so we don't get any leakage. And now we can start on those ones while the other ones are drying. Now I'm going to use different UV resins on this for a different finish. So on the yellow one, I'm going to be using the J Diction pearlescent UV resin. So you want a decent layer of whatever you're going to put in here, because you want to make sure that it's going to fill that mould and grip onto those edges. And I want to put a bit of swirl into that, and that's the nice thing about this pearlescent resin. You can do that. So I'm going to give it a bit of a swirl around, making sure it's connected on everywhere where it should be. The square one, I'm going to be using the brown glitter, which I always think looks like gold. And now I can spread that out in there. These are lovely and thick, these resins, so they do tend to stay where you want them. And for the cameo one, I'm going to be using the white pearlescent resin. Yep, I'm happy with that. And then for this one, it really doesn't matter what I use in the burn off any bubbles I may have put into it. I'm going to cure those up for 5 minutes because I've used the pearlescent colours as well. And then while they're curing up, I can place this one approximately in the middle there and push that down. And the reason I like to glue them down or stick them down is then it stops them floating, but also it stops any bubbles underneath from coming up. And there we go, that one's in there as well. And these are all cured now, so I can take them off the tape. I'm going to paint the glue on the back of both of these so I can position it where I want it. And for these ones, I'm going to pop a little bit of UV resin on them like that. Take my charms and then move them about in this. And what you'll find is this backing colour that I've put on this is actually thin enough to put it on your lamp and cure it like that. And the reason I'm using the thin or the low viscosity one is I don't want a dome on any of these, because you wouldn't have a dome on a picture, would you? And I'm moving it around just to get rid of any bubbles. Turning my lamp over. Be careful with your eyes as well when you're doing this. And now I'll quickly cure those ones up. And I can pop these ones on that are now dry. I just also want to say a massive thank you to all my members. If you'd like to become a member, then the link for that is in the description below. There are a lot more perks now, plus a free course, as well as all the other members only videos. A free course on how to set up your own successful crafting business. And alongside that, you also get previews of all my videos. And there's lots of other little perks, extra discount codes, early access to different things. So look, all I'm doing now is with a little brush is making sure that those pictures are set on there completely, all the way around. So these should have cured up now, so I can take those off there. Yeah, they're not going to move, look. Now, all I need to do is cover them in resin. I'm going to be using the low viscosity resin, and if you can buy this separately, or it comes in the J-Diction UV Trio kit. That's probably the best way to buy it, because you get the high viscosity, the low viscosity, and the general mid viscosity, I suppose it is. These would be great for little memorial pieces, if you're doing memorial pieces for someone. If you want to make some pendants or little gift tags or anything like that, they would be ideal for. So pleased this chocolate mould worked out. Now, I'm not sure what to do with this one. All I'm going to do in this one is go around it like that. Quickly burn off any bubbles. Now, I've been told off recently as I don't show the final result for long enough. So I will on this one, I promise you. So now that's all done, all I need to do is cure those up. And I'll cure those up for 5 minutes. So these are all finished now, and I love how they've come out. That one, I think, is my favourite. This is definitely my least favourite. Although it has come out quite pretty with the raised bit on here. But I just couldn't get a neat edge with it. I just don't have a steady hand. The charm ones are coming out really beautiful. Look, and that texture on there, easy to put on. And the same with... and the same with the one with my logo in it. I love that one. That would be fun. That one's my mum's little dog. Oh, that's so cool. And then you've got the one with the ballooning and the pearlescent pigment behind it. And there is another way that you can actually display these. Like I said, you could turn them into tags. You could turn them into little frames that sit up like that. Now, I know these are all different, but I'm going to show you another way that I would definitely display them. So this is why I really do think they're worth making. I've already put these into a finished display, and this is just a light box. You could have a really nice, pretty pattern in the background, but I definitely believe if you had people's dogs or family members that they'd lost, it would make a lovely little memorial piece. So as joint pieces, they look great. I didn't insert this one because it's not my favourite. And this is where I think they really come into life. As individual pieces, they're really nice. But grouped together like this, they look much more intentional. So do chocolate moulds work with resin? In this case, yes, they work much, much better than I expected, and they came out really well. The finish is not the same as a glossy finish, but I don't think a glossy frame would have looked right for these because we've got a glossy inside. So it works in its favour. I'd love to know which finish you think worked the best, so let me know in the comments which ones you think worked the best. It'd be really useful to know. And if you've used chocolate moulds with resin before, let me know whether yours came out glossy or dull or somewhere in between. And if you enjoy these resin experiments, please have a look at this video next, because that one had a result I really didn't expect either, and I think you'll be surprised too. Boo that like button, hit that subscribe button, think about becoming a member, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.